Garen, late game on Saturday, the Sharks and the Chiefs. Obviously, the Chiefs upsetting the Stormers last weekend. The Sharks don't have the best record against them either.
No,
How do you see that one going?
Yeah, the Chiefs, tough team to play. You know, they've also got a tough tour of South Africa. You know, when you take on the Stormers and then the Sharks in consecutive weekends, that is a tougher tour than you can perhaps expect. So they picked up the victory against the Stormers. They looked pretty good. They struggled at scrum time. I'm pretty sure they would have addressed that this week against a Sharks team that has improved their scrumming last weekend against the Cheetahs, and in previous weeks they were pretty good against the Lions, albeit it rained heavily at Kings Park that day. The Lions team, we know, have got a pretty formidable front row, so I expect the Chiefs rather to struggle a little bit at the set piece. Backline, again, you know, we've seen the Chiefs, they're full of runners, they can do damage to any team no matter how well your defence is structured. The question mark over Sonny Bill Williams, you know, he picked up a bit of a concussion against the Stormers. He might be out. Tim Nana Williams, who was his centre partner last week, he is ruled out with a broken finger. So they're going to have to make some changes, disrupt their back line. I'm pretty sure they've got, you know, adequate replacements to fill for those two. But it's going to be a tough game. Part of me always thinks, you know, when these teams come for a two-match tour, if they pick up one win and then a bonus point, or either scoring 4 tries or losing within the 7-point mark, that's enough for them. It's considered a successful tour if you pick up 5 or 6 points out of a maximum of 10, which very few teams these days do. So not to say that the Chiefs are going to roll over. If they see an opportunity to win, they'll certainly go for it, but they won't be too upset if they do keep the Chiefs, the Sharks to within 7 points. So I'm going to go for a Sharks home win. I don't think it's going to be pretty. I think it's going to be pretty ugly, in fact. I think they're going to do it the hard way. But again, by no more than 3 or 4 points, I think.
I see, Rob, the Sharks haven't beaten the Chiefs since 2009. But yeah, the Sharks' consistency in selection, except for obviously Peter Steph-Toy, has been replaced by Marco Wenzel.
Yes, I do have a little bit of a reservation about on that score, because I made the point earlier this week that Peter Steph-Toy brought a real sort of age balance, if you like, to the Sharks' tight five, which otherwise is getting a little bit sort of long in the tooth. And Marco Wenzel is around, he's in his mid-30s. I think he's about 35 years old. A real journeyman of World Rugby. Good guy to have, of course, if you have a crisis and suddenly you need to pull in somebody you know, who knows the ropes, kind of thing. So I'm not saying it's sort of all bad, but I just think they're going to miss Peter Steph's athleticism. And the Chiefs are, as we saw at Newlands, quite an athletic side. So I'm personally, with Garen, also sort of nervous about the game. But I'm just a little bit inclined towards the Sharks, because I think that they will manage to grind this one out. And if they don't, of course, they're back in the dwang, because although they revived themselves a bit last week, it's absolutely essential that if the revival is to continue, that they win this one as well. And I just think that desperation might just drive them through.
Rob, then finally there's a Sunday game. The Waratahs host the Brumbies. The Brumbies are top of the log. I mean, they might not be top of the log by the time Sunday comes around. But they've won 4 to 5 games. The Waratahs 2 from 4, so they also have that bye under their belt.
Yeah, I'm thinking that Waratahs will probably be sort of a team on a mission this week. You know, coming off a setback, and as defending champions, will want to assert themselves. I looked at those teams on paper, not too much to separate them. I think Garen will agree. It could be a real cracking game, a great way to sort of you know, roll on the sort of get your morning coffee on the boil on a Sunday morning in South Africa. That's a great Aussie derby to watch. I'm a little bit inclined towards the Waratahs.